You ever pull on a brand new t-shirt and just wonder, how did it get so soft? How did it take that color so perfectly? Well, I can tell you it definitely did not start out that way. There's this crucial, kind of invisible step that happens way before it ever gets to you. A process that turns stiff, raw fabric into the comfy clothes we all love. So let's dive into this hidden world, shall we? You see, the whole secret is in something called pre-treatment. Before you can dye or print on any fabric, you have to get it perfectly ready. It's kind of like priming a wall before you paint, right? You need a clean, blank canvas. But what exactly are we cleaning off the fabric? And why was it even there to begin with? Okay, so to survive the really intense, high-speed weaving process, all those threads get coated with this protective, starchy stuff called sizing. It makes them strong, it makes them smooth, but it also creates this barrier, an invisible shield, if you will. And before you can do anything else, that shield has got to go.
And getting rid of that shield, well, that process is called desizing. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like, the process of desizing the fabric. It is the very first, and you could argue, one of the most important steps in what's called textile wet processing. But it's about way more than just a simple cleaning job.
Here's the deal. Without proper desizing, that fabric can't absorb water or dye evenly. Not at all. You'd end up with these splotchy, patchy colors and a really rough feel. So the mission is clear. You've got to get that starch out, make the fabric super absorbent, and get it ready for that beautiful, vibrant finish we're all looking for.
So, how did they handle this problem way back when? Well, the earliest methods were really all about using what nature gave you and having a whole lot of patience. Let's take a look at the original, and yeah, by far the slowest technique.
It was called rot steeping. And basically, you'd just soak the fabric in some warm water and, well, you'd wait for a really, really long time. See, there are these naturally occurring microorganisms and bacteria in the water that would slowly go to work, producing enzymes that would start to break down that starch. So you can see the trade-off pretty clearly, right? On one hand, hey, it's cheap and totally chemical-free. But on the other hand, it is incredibly slow. We're talking up to a full 24 hours. Plus, you need a massive amount of floor space. And here's the kicker. If you let it rot for just a little too long, those same bacteria start munching on the cotton itself. Not good.
Yeah, as you can probably imagine, manufacturers wanted something, well, faster and a lot more reliable. This pushed the industry into the age of chemical desizing. And while these methods were definitely more powerful, they came with their own pretty significant risks.
So the first big chemical alternative was something called alkali steeping. This meant treating the fabric with a caustic soda solution, a much, much more aggressive approach, using some pretty harsh chemicals to just blast that starch apart.
And yeah, it was cheaper and faster. We're down to about 8 to 10 hours now. But it had one major flaw. That strong alkali solution could cause the fabric to shrink a lot, which is a huge problem when you're trying to make clothes that are, a consistent size.
All right, so the next evolution was acid steeping. Instead of an alkali, this method uses a diluted solution of a really powerful acid, like sulfuric or hydrochloric acid, to attack the starch. And it's even faster, cutting the whole process down to just 4 to 6 hours.
Now this method, it totally solved the shrinkage problem, but it introduced an even bigger one. This is a very, very risky process. If that acid concentration is just a tiny bit off, or if the process isn't controlled perfectly, the acid doesn't just eat the starch, it starts eating the cotton fibers themselves, making the fabric incredibly weak. I mean, a total disaster.
Okay, so let's recap. The old ways were way too slow. The chemical ways were way too risky and harsh. The industry needed a solution that was fast, effective, and safe for the fabric. And the answer, amazingly, didn't come from a chemical lab. It came from biology. Enter the enzyme. You should think of enzymes as these tiny biological machines, or even better, like molecular scissors. And the amazing thing about them is they are hyper-specific. An enzyme that's designed to break down starch will only break down starch. It'll just ignore everything else around it. It is the ultimate precision tool. So the enzymatic process is just elegant. It's so simple. First, you run the fabric through a bath that has the right enzymes. Then, you just let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours while those little molecular scissors get to work chopping up all that complex starch into simple sugars. A final wash gets rid of everything, and you're left with pure cotton fabric completely unharmed. And it uses way less energy and fewer harsh chemicals. And that specificity is absolutely everything. For instance, if you were to use the wrong kind of enzyme, like a cellulose enzyme, it would actually start eating the cotton fibers themselves.
but by using what are called amylase enzymes. You get a tool that is perfectly designed to only go after the starch. It's really the difference between using a surgical scalpel and, I don't know, a sledgehammer.
So we have this amazing, efficient new method. But how do you actually know for sure that it worked? I mean, how can you prove that all that invisible starch is really gone before you move on to the expensive, dyeing stage?
Well, you use a brilliantly simple chemical check, the iodine test. All it takes is a few drops of an iodine potassium iodide solution right onto the fabric, and it will instantly tell you everything you need to know. So, the first possible result, a deep blue spot. This is bad news. It's that classic chemical reaction that proves, without a doubt, that starch is still there. The desizing process has failed. You gotta go back to square one.
Then there's another possibility, a violet spot. Okay, you're on the right track here, but you're not quite there yet. This color means the starch has only been partially broken down. The process either needs more time, or maybe the mixture needs a little tweak. But if that spot just turns brown, which is the natural color of the iodine solution, that is the moment of victory. It means the starch is completely gone, the fabric is pure, it's absorbent, and it is perfectly ready for dyeing. Success! So when you lay it all out, side by side, the conclusion is just obvious, isn't it? Enzymatic steeping is the fastest by far. It has the lowest risk of damaging the fabric, and it causes absolutely no shrinkage. It is the clear winner, combining speed, safety, and effectiveness. It's really no contest. So the next time you put on your favorite shirt, just remember the incredible journey it took. From a stiff, shielded raw material to a soft, vibrant piece of clothing, all thanks to some tiny, biological scissors doing their job perfectly. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What other elegant, invisible science is woven into the fabric of our everyday lives?